This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. This is your host, Debbie. Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. I'm your host, Debbie, and today I have one of my good friends here in the studio. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Hope Balfa. I am the owner and one of the owners and founders of Turn Up Waco.
Woo! Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you.
So the first question I always ask my guests is, are you a Waco native, or what brought you to Waco?
So I'm not a Waco native. I was born in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Ooh.
And actually, if you want the full story, you can go on Andrew's podcast, The Public Affair. And shout out Public Affair. He's got my whole life story on that one, as he does. But I came to Waco in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been here, 14 years now?
Yeah. So you've got to go through as much diversity and so much growth here in Waco, especially since 2009.
It has changed a lot. I know everyone says that, but when I came here intentionally was with like certain things in mind. I was working at Mission Waco, and then I really appreciated like the way the city was going as far as like redeveloping small pockets of community, because I'm a social worker. And so I really liked how like the community development was happening organically, like within different communities. And so things have taken a different route.
Yeah.
And so it's just been like, I feel like a native where I'm just like, whoa, what, this isn't where things were going. And now they're going a different direction. And so now I find myself, Turn Up Waco is definitely like my outlet and my stress relief and my safe place to build community. And then I still do organizing and activism outside of that.
I love that. So you're an entrepreneur, activist, social worker, all these things. Tell me about your business. So how'd you get started?
Yeah. So in the end, like mid last year, so 2022, unexpectedly lost my job in May. 3 days later, had my election it was my second school board campaign. So I ran for Waco ISD school board twice. It's hard to make change, but you got to keep working for it. So the election happened, and then I realized I didn't have a job. And so thankfully I got hired pretty soon with an organization called Next Gen America. So all last fall I did voter registration. Well, that was contracted. So mid-November, once again, was unemployed. And I was like, you know what? I can either go out there and try to find someone to hire me and get paid really low as a social worker, sadly, and have issues with like, as a whistleblower, anyone who likes to really change things.
Yeah.
I was like, no one's going to hire me right now, or it's going to be like soul sucking. So I was like, well, I realized that my health had been deteriorating at the last job. Lost a ton of weight in unhealthy ways. And so I was like, I need to gain weight back, but I want to gain weight in a way that's also healthy. And so I was like, well, if I'm going to eat more, then that means I got to move my body. And then more. I found Turn Up Dance Fitness through COVID. A friend introduced me, and I was like, we need turn up. We need high intensity hip hop. We just need hip hop, more hip hop in Waco. Shout out Script, Prescription, and Private Hip Hop.
Shout out.
Because we just need more venues and more avenues like where hip hop culture is being celebrated and stuff. So I just started looking at properties to rent, and next door to Private Hip Hop Podcast was a brand new renovated space, and it was beautiful. And I loved it. And so we are next door. And so we have like our hip hop corner right there.
I love that.
And so, yeah, I like, if you think that if you don't come from money, or you don't have a savings, or you don't have a high paying job or anything to just make a dream happen, I mean, the only thing I did have going for me was a good credit score. And so now it is 200 points lower. But no, swear. But I know it's only temporary.
Hey, that's okay.
Because that's just some sacrifices you make. Refinanced my house, took out the equity in my home, and started it because I was like, I wanted to dance since I was a kid. We couldn't afford it. And so as you'll see a pattern with like money issues is like my whole life has been like a no. Things have just been like, no, we can't afford like that. And then I just had to jump into this like abundance mindset and be like, I'm going to be authentically myself and just try to empower and equip and like encourage other women to do the same and chase their dreams and be healthy in like myriad ways and watch what happens. And I mean, we're growing this awesome little community at Turn Up Waco, and it's changing lives, which is ultimately, as a social worker, an organizer, helping the community get healthy in every way. Like that's just, it's a dream. So it's a lot of hard work. Like you said, we quit our 9-to-5s to work
for ourselves
24/7. So Yeah. So it's culturally people are like, oh, where do you work? And it's hard to explain. Like as an entrepreneur, they're like, do you make a lot of money? And you're like, no. Not yet.
Not yet.
So
that's the key.
But it's so rewarding though.
I love that. And you're doing classes like 6 times a week now. So tell me about your class schedules and everything.
We try different things. So that's a cool thing about starting your own business is like if something doesn't work, you just change it. And so we tried I say we. I like me and all, I was like me and all my personalities. No, I'm just kidding. I tried doing a few times a week, and then we alternated like with some Zumba classes, had other instructors. But with Zumba, a lot of people have their own home base. Like they're real loyal to where they're already at Zumba, or they're going to like a big box gym to do it. And I was like, okay, I just have to stay true to the vision, and it was Turn Up, or like at least high intensity hip hop in general, or things that don't already exist. Like we have a class called Sacred Sensuality that Sarah Holder teaches, and it's just like we needed something that's more slow flow, restorative, sacred sensuality. And so she does this class from her backgrounds in like contemporary dance, ballet, and stuff like that. So she picks some awesome songs like by Janae Aiko and stuff like that. And so we just slow down and tap into that. And so there's like so much space to make it whatever we want it to be. And it's literally a collective community effort. I'm a single mom. Shout out co-parenting, but still like whenever my kids are with me, I am a single mom. And so I needed people to realize like we're all doing this together. My name might be on the rent, on the lease, and on all the bills. But like this is for you guys, and if we don't do it together, it's not going to exist. And there was a couple of months where these ladies, like we did one month, I think April, where it got slow, and women were donating like $200, $300 just to pay rent. They all came together and made it happen. I love that. Yeah, and then we had some really awesome businesses around town who, if you go look on our past posts, like shout out to all those donors. Like they donated lashes or like just different massages and everything just to help us stay open. So we did it, and now I have a business partner. Her name's Evelyn, and she's amazing. And just stay tuned for what it's gonna look like in August. I said August because wow, it's just so exciting to find someone to collaborate with who like believes in your vision and who's like, run with it, I got you. So yeah.
I love that.
I'm so excited.
That is so amazing. And we talked about just like making that space and holding that space for the community. What would you say is your mission behind Turn Up Waco?
So like because of my work previously as an organizer and activist, social worker, I realized like very quickly coming to Waco the dynamics of like economics and poverty and just social justice issues and all those layers. And so I mean it's no secret that hip hop culture is Black or African American in nature. Like that's where its roots are. And so I was like, well, if I as an Anglo, I did my ancestry.com and 99%, I was really shocked.
Oh no.
I'm Cajun French. I'm like 50% French, 50% Northwestern Europe.
Wow.
So yeah. So as an Anglo woman, I was like, how can I'm using hip hop, I don't want to be appropriating a culture or whatever. I want to give it honor and dignity and also give back to that which I am
cultural
benefiting
appreciation
from, right?
Yeah.
And so so I wanted to make sure we had a way for everyone despite their income to make it to class. So we've got sliding scale drop-in rates, and then also a fund called the SIS Fund. It's Sweating in Solidarity, where if you can't do any of it, you have no discretionary income, you can be an ambassador, like a brand ambassador. So just reposting our stuff, like passing out flyers, telling people about it, just being an ambassador. And you apply for that on our website, turnupwaco.com. And then so you don't have to actually spend money, but you're giving your time and your energy. And so I wanted to make sure that because of the overlap between race and or ethnicity and income, because of historical factors in Waco, I was like, let's be real about it. Like I need to make an intentional effort that those people who otherwise would be marginalized have a way to participate in this, because it is a gift. Like I've always been really blessed with really diverse friendships my whole life. Since I was a kid, I was just drawn to it because people are interesting and different. And
who knew?
I never wanted, never felt like joyful about just like staying in my bubble. And so I just want to give back. And I also understand that physical health is such a huge component of community health. Like we have different committees around town, and I'm on one for women, like early childhood development, like women's and children's health. But I was like, okay, so we talk about like the issues. How are we going to address it? And it's like everyone kind of sits around to wait and like who's going to do what? And I'm like, well, this is one way that I can contribute to not only mental health in our community, but physical health, just holistic, like emotional, relational. Like the women who are building relationships and learning they're finding other women they can trust and confide in and not be judged by. Our space is not just like hokey, like judgment-free zone. That's literally a judgment-free zone. I'm the owner, so if you come in with some like any judgment, I'm like, but we've never had that problem because people are just drawn to the space because they see what it is on Instagram and they're like, this has never existed in Waco. Usually you have to drive to Austin or Dallas or Houston to find these kind of classes. So that's just the mission, is to be a safe space for folks who otherwise can't find other safe spaces or would be marginalized or feel awkward. We're like a trauma-informed business, so I will not make you pull you up to the front of the class. If you're new, I'm not that instructor that's going to be like, oh, new people up to the front, because I'm like, social anxiety is real. Like, you made a big step even coming here to a space that you don't know, full of women, which that could be very scary. Yeah. So, it's just that's it. It's just to help build our community, like the heart and soul and like the wellness, the overall wellness. Yeah. And women, like that's huge. Women, non-binary folks, like that's huge for me because I feel like that's just like the heartbeat of our families, is the feminine, is women need to be protected and loved on, and that way we can love our sons and our daughters better, and we can serve our communities and our families better. But just after being a mom for the past 9 years, it's just like you get worn out. So I was like, I want something to invigorate and like rejuvenate people. So
and now for a word from our sponsors.
Hey, I'm Blair.
And I'm Brittany. And we're the host of
By the Cover Podcast.
We cover everything from mysteries, thrillers, romance, chick lit, and even some smut.
Don't forget the smut.
Yeah.
We're so excited to get this thing going and share this with you guys. We've been talking about this for months, and it's finally happening.
Yes.
Special shout out to Rogue Media for helping us with this.
For sure. You can find us on Instagram at @bythecover_podcast.
You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok, so don't forget to give us a follow on those too also.
And we are so excited to dive into some of our favorite books and share those with you.
We can't wait. Hope you love it.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
Hi, I'm Caroline.
And we have a new podcast for you. What's it called, Caroline?
Bloody Happy Hour.
It's going to be your new favorite guilty pleasure. We're going to talk about some bloody stuff. Serial killers. True crime. Rapists. Why not join us? We'll have a good time.
You literally never know. I don't know what I'm going to say. Bloody Happy Hour. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Oh yeah.
Loud.
I'm back,
Okay.
baby. Woo!
Hi, I'm Trey Cooper,
I'm Solomon Cooper.
and we're the hosts of the Kid Stays in the Podcast.
It's a cross-generational discussion about movies. Two perspectives. I'm the young one, he's the old one, and we have some fun arguments.
I don't think we need to say it that way.
You're old.
Anyway, whenever you tune in to listen to the Kid Stays in the Podcast, you can expect to hear a very, very intelligent discussion of a film from me and a really imbecilic perspective from Solomon, who hates anything that wasn't made after 2007.
You're very rude to me.
We tried to watch a movie from 1985 once, and he really hated it. Tune into our show. Hear me roast Solomon week after week.
Find us anywhere you get your podcast or on roguemedianetwork.com.
And now, back to the episode. Why is it so important to be in Waco now?
Sheesh. I have so many thoughts about that. There's like so much overlap between like where we're going as a city and where we've been. But even as it pertains to like education, you know, because that's just like every single family that has children is touched by our education system in Waco. And so I feel like right now in Waco, we're at a turning point, like we're at a crossroads where we can either invest in our locals, invest in our people that are ground level. Like these are people that even if you try to disenfranchise people or push them out or, gentrify, whatever, it requires money to leave. So even if you make things really, really uncomfortable and like take away resources and everything in an attempt to gentrify or colonize, some people just can't leave. And so you're really just hurting your own city. So the best thing we can do is to pour resources and support and care, community care into our communities to raise all tides truly, so that we all can thrive together. Because I think it's really short-sighted to only focus on like the quick money makers. We do have to, yes, tourism is a thing here and I understand that, but more, I feel like we have kind of diverged from where when I first moved to Waco, so much of the emphasis from the city was like on the little pockets of communities, you know, in South Waco and North Waco and East Waco. Like I remember seeing like community gardens and things popping up, and it was beautiful. And I just think now we need people that stay here and hold down the fort and be like, we don't lose focus. Like the locals here still absolutely matter. Like this is generations of Wacoans who have lived on these blocks. And the best thing we can do to make Waco a thriving place economically is to ensure that our kids have the best education, that they're put out into the world ready for the real world with, you know, all the social skills, emotional skills, all that. Provide mental health resources to our residents, our 124,000 residents. And I feel like physical fitness is part of that mental health aspect too. And physical health care. So it's very important that people have a heart for Waco. Try to stay here as long as you can, you know, try. I know sometimes you're like, I need a break. I gotta go. But I so appreciate people like you and all of our friends who we know really are just keep trying to infuse like beauty and life and love and equity into Waco, because we know, first of all, our people deserve it. They're worth it. It's the right thing to do, but it's also going to make it a more beautiful place, you know?
Yeah. You're making my job so easy, because the next question I usually ask people is, what is something you would like to see more of in the community, or what would you like to see?
Yeah, I guess I would love to see more funding put towards whether it's small businesses or nonprofits, preferably, you know, the nonprofit world. I think we've got a lot of, you know, having been in it, I feel like there's a lot of money put towards like faith-based nonprofits and stuff like that, but not towards community organizing per se. I can name like one organization that does that, and I don't even know how much freedom they have in what they do. We need more funding put towards those social worky type things where it is community organizing from the inside out, like power based, like building a base of people who do know how to vote, where to vote, how to get involved in school board, how to get involved in city council, and they as like ambassadors go out into their community and letting people know their rights, letting them know how to civic engagement, I guess, is what we used to in social studies in school. That's what it used to be, was like learning how to be civically engaged. But also like that trust between, like, if I speak up and say something, am I going to be heard? Is something going to be done about it? Is there going to be backlash? Am I going to be, you know, isolated? So I think what I would love to see more of is funding put towards those things that really strengthen the mental, emotional, spiritual wellness of people who live in Waco currently already.
I love that. And that's so amazing. And being here at the community and just being in so many different facets with our education system and nonprofits and your own community organizations that you've helped start from the ground up.
Shout out Waco Immigrants Alliance and Change Waco.
But yeah, it's so amazing to see these little pockets. Is there anybody you want to shout out that's like helped you along this journey?
Gosh, so many people.
I know.
So
here's the list part.
I'm like, man,
don't forget about anybody.
Right, on the entrepreneur side, for sure. You know, all of our friends like Katie and Jacob over at Stay Classy, Eric, and, you know, just the courage to step into this space as an entrepreneur, I think came from like seeing all my friends be brave and do it themselves. And, you know, Fiona over at Creative Waco, like just the people, like I said, just infusing just creativity and arts and everything. Of course, Private Hip Hop, HQ, y'all check out Private Hip Hop Podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
And what else? Evelyn, my business partner, godsend from the heavens. Like I was like, we were about to shut our doors and she's like, no. Yeah. And then the people Cuevas Peacock, he is relocating to Dallas, but he's someone that this community has been so gifted by. Like, and then also the two homies on the school board, Jeremy Davis and Keith Guillory, really doing their best to make sure our kiddos in Waco ISD have those type of resources I talked about, like, glasses, hearing aids, mental health professionals on campus, behavior specialists. Like, they get it and the community knows they get it, and we just need to keep supporting people like that. So
I love that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. And all my Turn Up ladies, Turn Up
course.
Waco ladies. Yeah, my faithfuls. And if you haven't been to Turn Up Waco yet,
check it out.
Come check it out. First class is always free, and we do have sliding scale rates. And if you have any questions like how to book or when, what, where, just DM me. I'm always available. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And of course, now plug yourself. Give us all the plug. Give us the website. Give us the DM, social media, all the things.
Yeah, turnupwaco.com. And then on social media, Instagram, Turn Up Waco. And then Facebook, you just search Turn Up Waco. But also part of Turn Up Waco's new trajectory is infusing that or including life coaching, because I'm almost done with my certification for to be a life coach, and it's like a 6-month training. It's not just some pay $5 on Instagram and then we give you a certificate. It's intense. It's like an actual course. And so it's with the Inner Glow Circle, and I love their philosophy. It's very much aligned with who I am and everything I believe. And so if you ever goal setting, breaking up with bad habits, breaking up with anything that holds you back from an abundant life, mindsets, people, places, things, I have my life coaching, which is the Breakup Baddie, and which the podcast launched this week.
Today the trailer
Baddie
dropped.
Yes.
Whoop whoop.
So
go and check out her podcast after this one.
I know, it's exciting. My first 3 guests, man, they're so diverse in what they do and who they are. It's so fun.
And then I'll come on as guest on your show, and then we'll do a little combo.
Yes, you have to. I know. So you start thinking about the questions. What things have you had to break up with to live your most abundant life?
I got a list.
Yes, great, bring it. So so Breakup Baddie is the Breakup Baddie, BADDIE, and that's on all the social media platforms, and Breakup Baddie, thebreakupbaddie.com. So yep.
Perfect.
That's it.
Yay, I love that. Is there anything else you wanted to shout out or promote here?
Thank you for having me on, and I love your colors and the yes, hot pink. Okay.
Got on the theme.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything else or any advice you would like to give our listeners today?
Just, get to know Waco, the real Waco. The pre, 2019 rush, I guess. I don't know what year that was that everything changed, but there's so much beauty here worth investing in. So thanks for having me on, Daddy.
Yay, no worries. Yay. Find us everywhere on all social media platforms, KNOW_Waco. Check us out at roguemedianetwork.com, and we're on YouTube under Rogue Media Network. Check out nowaco.com.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.